Hello, am I in frame? Welcome. Today, uh, hang on one second while I get situated here. Jasper, come here. Come on, say hi. Say hi to the podcast. Look. I have Jasper here today. Can you see him? What a good boy. He needs a groom really badly, but he's kind of anxious right now because we were sleeping all day, and then I woke up at 11 p.m. at night, and I started to throw on all the lights, and I pulled out a microphone and some headphones, and I took the blanket and halfway folded it, and he's like, what? I thought we were sleeping more. Don't do that. Hello, my name is Daniel. This is the What's on My Mind podcast, and I thought I would tell you what's been on my mind. I slept from 5 till 11 p.m. and at 11:46 p.m. So it's about midnight. And I woke up because I had a dream. And it wasn't a typical dream of mine. And why poor baby Jasper is in a state of angst is I had a dream about money. Now, is that a dream or is that a nightmare? That's a good question. It was not a nightmare. It was a dream. I was dreaming about how it wasn't so much like a typical dream, like I said. It was more so like I was thinking, oh, I wonder what's going on with my high yield savings account. Like, okay, I wasted all day. I can't go to the store now. Let me go through Amazon. So I was going through Amazon to see what kind of cups would be able to come to me before Christmas. And I was looking for like Spider-Man cups because I have a cousin who likes Spider-Man. He's like a baby. And as I was scrolling and looking through my phone to see which cups, what cup to buy, whatever, I saw this section of Amazon, and it said HSA eligible items. And do you know what an HSA is? FSA or HSA? If not, you're in the right place. Because I didn't know what it was either. And so that's what today's podcast is going to be about. It's a finance podcast. I want to, right from the get-go, do a disclaimer and tell you I am by no means a finance bro, a Mr. Know-It-All. I have said many times before, I will proudly proclaim I know nothing, and this is a diary format, and I'm simply just sharing things that I have learned and that I would have liked to had somebody tell me earlier. I cannot be in my mid-20s and just now learning about a high-yield savings account, which is what happened to me. And I have an HSA through my job, and when you get hired at a job, they will, if your job has benefits. So I'm blessed to have a job that has benefits. I get it. Thank God. And so anyway, there's all these benefits, and I guess let me start with some backstory. I come from a family, we are, what do they call it, blue collar? No, not even that, because blue collar people, they have benefits most of the time. My job, I interact with a lot of blue collar. That's not it. They're like service workers. And so, so we are first generation. I'm a first generation college graduate, the first person in my family to graduate college, do the education, do all the things. And I am also an eldest sibling. So, on top of that, we moved away and I moved to a very not rural, let me say urban area of Texas, and that was very marginalized, and I did not have access to information that your typical person might have. And I've learned that in the world of finance, there's this element of gatekeeping that is so striking to me. I don't understand why it has to be gatekept like this, because if this person is saving their money, it's not affecting my money. I mean, I'm not like a trillionaire yet. So that's like trillionaire business. Like, you can help. Anyway, and so what I'm getting at is I was not taught. I did not know. It's not been in my vocabulary. I didn't even know that a savings account was needed or was a thing. Like, who even has money for saving? Like, my family would be lucky if they even, like, a savings account. What? They're lucky to even put anything into a typical savings account. So go on to a high yield savings account, like. And so, yeah. So my family, they are uneducated, and it's not in a negative. I'm not trying to have a negative connotation here. It's just a fact. They're uneducated and financially illiterate, and so therefore I was financially illiterate. I did not have like rich white friends that would be able to help me and tell me, hey, I just blah blah blah, I got a credit card. I don't know. Like, they didn't. It wasn't really, who talks about money anyway? That's kind of taboo, or it had been as I was growing up. And so, yeah, I went to college because I realized, okay, I need to like learn this myself. I have some other cousins, and they have elder siblings that were able to teach them, but I don't know, it's taboo to talk about money, so it just never came up. I don't know. It's on me, so anyway. I graduated college, first of my family to do so, and I got a job, and my first job, when it was coming to signing up for the benefits, I was like, what is an HSA account? And I asked the random person next to me that I went to nursing school with, what's HSA? And he was like, oh, it's like a debit card that you can spend. You can only use it to spend it on medical things. And I was like, okay, why would I want that? I don't want all the money. I don't want to take extra out of my check that I don't need to, just to have this bucket. Like, what? Why would I take money out of my check to spend it on medical things if I'm going to be spending medical things anyway? And what if I forget about it? I don't even know what it is. So let me just not mess with that right now. So I didn't mess with it. And so I didn't do the HSA in my first job. And then I didn't do the FSA. And I have mixed emotions about an FSA still to this day. But like, I don't have an FSA right now. And I'll explain what these are in a moment. But yeah, so that's some background. So yeah, let's just explain what it is now. So okay, I'm all over the place. I have like an ADHD brain. You're gonna have to bear with me. But okay, so basically what I'm saying is, okay, so I was scrolling through Amazon and it said HSA, eligible. And so I was like, oh my God, I can use my HSA on pimple patches? Because that was one of them. My face wash was HSA eligible. Element, my electrolyte drink, was HSA eligible. There was so much things that I use on a daily basis that is HSA eligible. I had no idea, and I wasn't even using my HSA for it. I have been using my money for my, liquid money. I don't know, credit. I was using not the HSA for it. And, you can choose whether to use your HSA now or when you get older, but the moral of the story is, oh my God, why didn't anybody tell me that it wasn't just medical, but it was health and cleanliness and, maintenance? I don't know if it's just new that society is expanding what's HSA eligible, or if it's always been this way. It might just be new, and I am telling you now, hello. You can get CeraVe benzoyl peroxide face wash cream on your HSA if you have one. But that's what I'm going to start doing, because every little bit counts. And let me tell you what an HSA is. HSA stands for Health Savings Account. And it's a type of savings account that lets you set aside money on a pre-tax basis to pay for qualified medical expenses. I'll say it again. It's a type of savings account that lets you set aside money on a pre-tax basis to pay for qualified medical expenses. There's a lot to unpack there. So first, let's just go through that, word line by line. Savings account, a type of savings account. I think we know what that means, right? So it's an account of money that's sitting there waiting for you to use savings. And that money is set aside pre-tax. When you get your check, and you've probably heard people say, oh, yeah, the government ate first, or the government took all my money, and the taxes, they take all your check and you're left with crumbs. That's because your check is post-tax. The money is after taxes were taken out. And so I was under the impression that this health savings account, HSA, was a post-tax deduction, I guess. And so, if they were to take if this money that was put into the HSA was going to be taken out of my check post-tax, my actual money, my true bag, my bag, I would say hell no. But this health savings is a pre-tax deduction. They take this money out before the government touches it. So that means so imagine if you didn't get your taxes taken away, you would get hundreds or thousands of dollars added every single check, right? How much taxes do they take out of your checks? Depending how much you make. For me, they take at least $500, maybe $1,000. No, maybe not 1,000, but they take hundreds, if not thousands, but I would say hundreds. I don't know, I actually haven't calculated. Hundreds and thousands. Let's just say thousands for the sake of this conversation. They take thousands out of my check for taxes. So I don't see that money. But now that I'm having this pre-tax I have money set aside pre-tax, some of that money that I don't see because the government takes it, with the health savings account, you can get that money back. You get that money that the government took, and they'll put it aside in a health savings account, and you get that money back. It's money that, it's still being taken from your check, and on paper you are still, it's coming out of your salary, but is it though? Because it's pre-taxed, and they're going to tax you anyway, and also this is shit you're going to buy anyway. So would you rather buy that with money that was, you can buy this stuff with a pre-tax. You can buy it, basically, I like to think of it as I'm tapping into money that the government was would have taken from me anyway. So I'm almost making money this way. and you are making money this way. Whenever something says it's a pre-tax thing, you're making money. It's beneficial to you. So yeah, that guy didn't explain it to me that way. I don't blame him. He probably didn't know either. He was also a minority, marginalized probably. He had a Mr. Know-It-All vibe that I didn't mess with, so I didn't take him seriously, and I didn't take him seriously. And I didn't take him seriously, so I didn't take him seriously. So anyway, yeah. And so when it says qualified medical expenses, that's what got me. Like, okay, I don't go to the doctor that much. So what? I'm just gonna save it, and then they market it as when you retire, you're gonna wish, you'll be very happy to have that HSA, and that's true. If you are a financial expert, I highly encourage you to comment below and let's continue this conversation. Like I said, I am 25 years young and I'm learning about this for the first time. So, yeah, this is just me. I'm angry, honestly. I don't really know. And I haven't done much more research, honestly, and that's on me too, but what are you going to do? I can only learn so much so fast. I'm just a teenage boy in my 20s. What do you want from me? So anyway, yeah, so that medical expenses eligible, blah, blah, blah. Amazon, and also I saw there was an ad that said that because I'm interested in checking my blood sugar and ketones because I've been doing like fasting, and I just like to know my numbers. I don't know. I'm a nerd a little bit. So anyway, I wanted to get a continuous glucose monitor, one that you put on here and you just tap your phone and it continuously checks your blood glucose. But they're like hundreds of dollars, and I didn't want to spend $100. And I might get one now because I saw that you can actually purchase that with an HSA. And so the HSA money is pre-tax, so you're like, anything you buy with it, it's free money. Like, it's money, it's not free because it was yours, you worked for it, but it's that money that the government stole from you. You're tapping into that reserve. So it's like they are helping you. Like, they know that they're taking a lot of money. And so there's ways to get that money back. But they are gatekeeping because they don't want everybody to tap into this. They don't want everybody to get all their money back. And also not every single job offers this benefit. And I don't know if you can do it on your own without the job. My job contributes. Oh, and that's another thing. I'm blessed. My job adds to my health. Usually if your job is offering an HSA, like through them, they will, whatever you put in, they'll match it. Like if you put in $5 a month, they'll put in $5 a month. And so you'll get $10 a month. So that's free money on top of free money. So, yeah, I need to go back and look at I just finished my benefit registration for the new year, and I didn't really put that much contribution into my HSA because I was but I didn't realize how much was covered under it and how free this money was. So anyway, that's what an HSA is. It's free money, and the government knows they're stealing, but they do it because they have to. You ever hear there's only two things in life that are certain? And taxes. So, yeah. They need to fund the things to do, and I get it. And so they're trying to help us. But why? And they gatekeep because they don't want you to know. So anyway, that is what an HSA is. I was shook to my core. I now have an Amazon wish list of things that are HSA eligible. So if you're interested, if you just go to Amazon and put in the search bar HSA eligible items, it'll show you. And you'll be shocked. There's face wash, there's pimple cream, there's pimple, all those self-care products that we splurge on, we could be using our HSA for. Now, I don't honestly know if it's better to spend HSA now or wait until you retire and use it. Like my mind goes to you should save it and use it when you retire. Um, I have trouble perceiving the future. I believe I'm going to live until at least 100, I would say 130. But like the planning and like I am a day by day kind of guy. Like the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I don't know. He's going to take me there. So I cannot perceive it. I don't know. It's hard for me to formulate like what does that look like. So anyway, that being said, I personally am like, how am I going to stretch my dollar now? And I don't know what the future is going to look like. Like I could be saving this money and something could change and the HSA list would be diminished. And so anyway, I don't know. It's a philosophy, it's a school of thought, it's up to you and your personal choice. Consult with a legal CPA, accountant if you want better advice. This is not advice, this is just me. Moving on. So, an FSA, a flexible spending account, I don't know really what that is. I know that a job offers it to you and you can chip into it, but that one is where you have a savings account of money and you have to use it that year. If you don't use it, you lose it. I don't see the benefit in that. I don't get it. There must be, because I hear social workers at my job mentioning it to the patients that need money. So I'll have to look into that. We don't have all the time in the world, so that I hate to give you some homework, but I'm gonna do the homework. So just stay tuned. I'll maybe do an updated video. I'll obviously do an updated video when I learn more. FSA, flexible spending, is like an HSA, but you gotta use it that year. Use it or lose it. HSA, you can build on it through wages and use it whenever you want. And it's like a debit card, and it's tapping into the money the government took. Win, 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 win case scenario. All right, and so while I'm on the topic of finances and that, I was like, okay, well, let me just talk about other things that I've learned. So that's one of the benefits my job offers is the HSA. Another is a 401k. Now, I really don't know too much about 401k other than I know it is obviously, you hear about it. It's a retirement, it's a savings account in which you put money into that account and you're not allowed to access it until you retire, you turn 65 or have a qualifying event or something like that. And the benefit of the 401k is that I believe it has to do with the stock market, or I know Roth IRA does, but I don't know if the money, I know that the immediate benefit is that whatever you put in, your employer will match it, and you can choose what percentage of your check you want to contribute to that. But whatever it is that you put in, your employer matches it, which like they're giving you, like they're doubling your money for you to retire with. And so it's basically, it helps you, like it forces you to save. It's not like a real, it's not like a savings that you have in your typical bank. It's forcing you saving account that you'll use ideally and primarily for when you retire. And so your employer matches it. My first job had the teacher retirement system, which is really good, and that one has been like interest. That's what I was looking for. It's been compounding interest has been like it's been growing, even though I've not been working there for like 2 years now. It's still growing, and I think 401ks are in the same way. They grow with years. So like it's like the stock market, except it doesn't go down. It can only grow. So it's like a high yield savings account. 401k. I think most people know about that. If you don't know about it, it's very popular. It is an employer-sponsored savings program for you to
save your money to retire with. Okay.
Okay.
Now, high yield savings account. Bonkers. Completely blows my mind that I was 25 years young when I learned about when I signed up for one. As a youth, younger lad, I would hear people say, "Oh yeah, I got a high yield savings account," and they would say it in the same sentence of, "I got a brokerage Roth IRA with my high yield savings account, and my 401k and all of my assets are in one blah 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 blah." And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. Please stop talking. And so they would say it all together, and like I'm saying it all together now. I don't blame them, but if like I want to really stress that a high yield savings account is not as big highbrow as it might sound. I will Google the definition so that way I have a textbook definition to tell you about it. Okay. Does it have it? High yield savings accounts are separate from a traditional saving account in that they will reward you with higher interest rates, allowing your money to grow even faster as it sits in your account. Wow. High yield savings accounts stand out from traditional savings accounts in that they will reward you with a higher interest rate, allowing your money to grow even faster as it just sits in your account. So, how profound is that, right? And why wouldn't anybody tell me? So what a high yield savings account is, think of the word high up here, yield, I'm yielding, savings account. So the amount that I'm yielding is high. So it has to do with interest like I was talking about. So my savings account with my bank, like my traditional bank with my debit card, my checking account bank, the savings account that most people have, that you learn, that I think it's automatic. I don't remember how I got it, but you know, most people have. Your traditional savings account, my APR, and this is verbatim, it is 0.001%. And I remember seeing like 2 cents added to your checking account. And you could do the math to see how much money was in there at that time. But I was like, wow, 2 cents. At least I'm not losing. And I would never think like, and I would hear people that would have one, but I would think it was like, oh, how do you get it? I don't know what to do. And so I never had gotten one. And then my credit card company sent me like a letter saying that they have high yield savings accounts on there, and it was super easy to apply. So I think that there is, I don't know, I don't have any suggestions on which high yield savings account. I've heard a lot of good things about Marcus. You can go to marcus.com. I don't use it, so I have zero. I kind of regret even mentioning it because I don't know. I guess if I will be open, I have a high yield savings account with Apple because I have the Apple card. And that was my first high yield savings account, and they were the ones that introduced it and got me. It was super easy to sign up for, and they like were the first ones to like tap my toes into it, because no other bank or any entity would ever tell me, like nothing else would ever. There was no other way for me to learn about it. Like nobody in my life, no bank, no job. Nothing was telling me to sign up for a high yield savings account. It was just finance like videos, and I didn't like I didn't it didn't click in me because I thought it was so far beyond me. And so when Apple introduced their high yield savings account and it was easy to do, I just said, no, I'll try it. Let's see what happens. The worst, if I'm in a period in my life right now where I'm blessed to be open to, once I did the high yield savings account with Apple and it turned out to be good and I was getting like $30 back a month. And the APR, it went from 0.01, and with Apple, I started out at 4.15%. So that is like as if your money was in the stock market and it was doing good. That's probably a bad example because the stock market can do exponentially way more than 4%. But 4% is actually a lot. It's giving you, that was $33 a month. I didn't, it just sat there. I just transferred some money, my money from my 0% APR account to the high yield account. And so when I wouldn't get $30 a month, now I am. Added to my savings. And it has just been sitting there all this time. I've had my credit cards since I was 18 years old. And I don't know if I would have been approved for it. I don't know what the approval. I think most people can get approved for some. Maybe your credit has to deal with the, maybe it affects what kind of percentage you get. I don't know. I don't know everything. But all I know is that any percentage above 0 is better than 0. So if you have a credit card, look into see if there is a high yield savings account with them. And the reason why I suggest that is because you already have business with them. You have, an app on your phone. You have an account with them. It'll be easier to manage. I mentioned that other company previously. I don't know about. So Apple, if you have an Apple phone and you have an Apple card, you usually have to have a credit card. I've noticed. But yeah, get your money into a high yield savings account because you're just throwing money away if not. So that's my spiel on that. It's something I learned this year. And I know we're kind of getting low on time, so that's basically the bulk of what I wanted to say. I did want to mention about how one of the wisest things anybody did tell me, I did have when I was in church growing up, they had a financial talk with us, like the people that graduated high school. I don't know why they did it, but it was, I don't know, some guy came and he was a member of our church and he talked to us about he tried telling us about finances, but really all he told us, which is really profound and important to know, was that everybody should get a credit card. You should have a credit card, and you should make all your purchases possible with a credit card. You should not be using your debit card at the gas station, at the department store. You should be using your credit card when you can, and the debit card should never really be physically used ever. And I think the only time you need to use your debit card is when you're doing Venmo or Cash App, like transactions. But when you go into gas stations or supermarkets, they can steal your identity with that debit card. And when that money if it gets hacked, or if you have fraudulent charges on there, it's very difficult to get that money back. Whereas with a credit card, if there's a fraudulent card, it's so easy to get your money back. And it's harder to steal your identity with that. And that's not your actual bank. And if you have your savings connected to your checking and you're using your debit with that same card, then they can steal all your savings too. And so that's another reason to get your money into a savings account that's separate from your checking. So if something goes wrong someplace, at least they don't have access to it all. Like diversifying where you have your money, I think is really smart because, in regards to hacking, or if something falls and fails, like banks fail all the time, if that bank failed, at least you don't have all your eggs in that basket. It's spread out. But the most important thing is paying with a credit card is better in so many ways. Most credit cards also have rewards program. Like you get 2% cash back if you shop at a supermarket with the card, or if you do gas with that card. And there's like, when you get, there goes the percentage again, 2% cash back. If you're gonna spend something, that's like a 2% discount on it. You get that money back to you. If you were going to spend it with a debit card, you're not getting that money back to you. So why would you not get that money back to you? You're losing money if you don't do it that way. Like, you could be making money, however you want to think about it. You could be, if you use your credit card and get 2%, that's 2%. I'll take all the money I can get. I don't want, nobody really ever teaches you how to be smart, like with your money. Like, yeah, the credit card, you get 2% cash back, that's 2%. I'm just keeping saying it because it's so profound. I know some, like my family, they only pay with debit cards. I don't see any of them paying with credit. I don't know why. Is it a Hispanic thing? Is it a low income thing to not? They have credit cards. Oh, man. Credit card debt. Now that's something that I need to talk about. I'm not gonna, all of these things that I'm saying, I understand. It's only for the privileged only for the people that are privileged enough to have income to save in the first place. And when it comes to credit card debt, for my young people out there that are watching this, and you should get a credit card. It's always your personal decision, but yeah, you should get a credit card. But always pay the full statement of that card. Never spend more than you are able, that's in your checking. Never spend more than you'll be able to pay at the end of the month. When that bill comes at the end of the month, you need to have enough money in your checking to pay that 100%. Like, they'll give you, let's say you have a $10,000 limit on this card. If you only have $3,000 in your account and you want to buy a $5,000 camera, but you won't have $5,000 at the end of the month, then don't buy it at that time if you can help it. Save until you can buy it cash, then buy it with the credit card so you can get the 2%. 2% of 5,000 is like, do I have calculator on here? Oh, they need to put calculator on iPad. Oh, let's ask Siri. What's 2% of 5,000?
It's
That's $100. $100 off that camera with using your credit card to buy it. So, like, praise be, you have that limit to buy it. But wait until you have the actual liquid cash until you do. And so that way you don't get into credit card debt, because credit card debt, we got into those percentages, 42%. Credit card percentages for debt, 20%, 21, 30%. Now, imagine if we got 30% back into our account, that's hundreds, if not thousands of dollars they're charging you extra. So, if this pencil costs me $100, this Apple Pencil, and let's see, what's 23% of 100?
It's 23.
That means instead of costing $100, it now costs me $123. And then it'll only grow from there the less if you're only paying your minimum, because that amount is still going to be adding. And so it's designed to have you never pay it off, and that's how they make money, because they make money on interest, and they have to do it that way. Now, that's for my young people out there that can help it. That's why they say credit cards are for emergencies. In an emergency, when you don't have that liquid cash, liquid means money in your bank, that you can pull out right here. Go to an ATM, debit card, purchase. I got it. It's here. Non-liquid is like money that's in your high yield savings or your 401k money. You have to go through a process to get out, wait for it to come into your account, and then pay it. That's non-liquid. Liquid is money that's in your account right now.
You should always have, I don't know how much you should always have liquid. I personally like to have at least $100. Enough. Between 100 and 500. Sometimes it's 100 to 1,000 liquid dollars. Just because you never know. But the good thing about the Apple high yield savings is that transfer of money from high yields to liquid, like liquidizing that money, was like instantaneous almost. So that was good. But I found my credit card, American Express, had 4.3%. So I decided to just use their high yield savings. But anyway, yeah. So if you can help not have credit card debt, obviously don't do it. I think that's that's an obvious thing. But if you can't help it, then I feel for you. I get it. But yeah, there's so much that could go into it. So much more that could go into it. But for the sake of time, I think I'm going to end this here. It is now midnight 20. I don't know exactly what time it is. Yep, midnight 20. You like that picture? This was taken in Santa Cruz. Anyway, it's midnight 20. And I just thought I would hop on here and do some education, because I would have loved for somebody to have told me this when I was growing up. If you have any specific questions, please leave a comment down below, and I would love to answer them. If you found this informative, please share it to your friends. They need to know about these things. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I know I I don't know everything, but yeah, I have learned some, so that's what I'm here to do. I'm just sharing my experience. Like, I'm disappointed that it took this long for me to learn about it. Like, I can only imagine if I would have opened that high yield savings account sooner, how much money I could have gotten from it just sitting there. Like, even if you get, like, people in college and you get those refund checks, you can put that refund check money in your high yield savings account, and that money, like a loan, you can build on that loan, so it'll be less. I don't know, you see where I'm going with it. You can grow your money. And so yeah, it's just important, especially nowadays. I know it's very difficult for people, so I just wanted to share that. So I hope this was interesting. Like I said, please comment down below what other things you want to learn about. If there are some things that you have questions on, I would love to see if I could help. Please share this to your friends and family and loved ones, and I will see you for the next one. My name is Daniel, and this has been what's on my mind today.